transparent and make everybody aware of the condition.
A historic Dubuque building not only has a long history in the city, it also has a long history of being a public safety concern. Recently, Dubuque city leaders sent letters to those who live and work near the old Dubuque Malting and Brewing building.
In those letters, the city said an inspection found 10 different areas of concern. In an I-9 investigation, KCRG TV9's Brian Tappick is finding out the city has been finding problems there for decades.
Jim, Beth, I asked the city of Dubuque for all the notices the city has issued to the owner of the Dubuque Malting and Brewing Company over the last 20 years. What I found are these documents, court orders to make repairs, multiple references to calling it a public safety threat, and a consultant saying some of the issues are from a lack of maintenance.
This one's actually a really easy sell.
When Curtis Knapp started Duck Duck Drive in October of last year, a car dealership and repair shop on Jackson Street, he was starting his dream company.
Yeah, this is something I've been working towards for a long time.
What he didn't know were all of the problems with his neighbor, the historic Dubuque Malting and Brewing Company.
I didn't know as much as I've learned since, but I had a little bit of an idea of it.
Our I-9 team obtained these documents showing the city declared the building a public safety concern in 2016, 2017, 2021, and again this year, with one report citing the building suffered from obvious lack of maintenance in 2014. 2 years later, the third, fourth, and fifth floors collapsed.
Over the years, there's been various issues in the building. The same issues have not been identified over and over. They were addressed to some degree, yes.
Michael Belmont is the City of Dubuque's Assistant Housing Director and Code Official. He says the building's issues have gotten progressively worse. Despite Iowa law allowing a city to take legal action to take ownership of a building, it hasn't.
We have to take into account that there are private property rules, that this is owned by somebody else. It's not owned by the city. It is in a conservation district. We base our actions on the reports given to us by structural engineers.
Steve Emerson bought the building in 2017. Emerson gave I-9 the statement saying in part, "I bought this building before I visited, simply to save it. We'll be demolishing sections of wall towards the back." He says he'll tear down parts of the building that are concerning to the city and preserve the front of the building. Knapp just wants Jackson Street to be open so people can see what cars he has available.
The fastest way to solve the problem would be to take the building down. It sucks. It's a really pretty building and there's a lot of history there, but ultimately I don't know that it's really that savable.
Dubuque gave Emerson until the end of this week to come up with the corrective plan. Emerson says he was on site today with his engineers assessing the building. He tells me he plans to pursue state and federal grants in the spring, which he says will allow him to start development parts of the complex starting next year. In the studio, Brian Tappick, KCRG TV9 News.